Before I actually greet you guys, I just have to say,
here it comes.
making this video is going to be the most difficult, especially growing up knowing John Cena to be, you know, this guy. I mean, we did hate him in the 2010s and we wanted him to go. We didn't want to see him on our WWE screens anymore. Instead, we actually wanted people like CM Punk, you know, people like CM Punk unfortunately ended up leaving the company eventually. You know, there were people like John Morrison at the time that could have, you know, been something. There were just so many potential stars. John Cena is retiring right now. And since he's retiring, a lot of things are coming out about him. About how he was backstage with the wrestlers, you know, there are different stories that are coming out. You know, recently a video of David Otanga actually came out of his bullying. It really sucks, bro. Like, look, listen.
I've sat on some of these stories for a very long time. In fact, I wondered if I'd ever even share them. I feel like the time has come where it's time for me to share my truth. So this is what really happened.
That's deep.
How? Make it make sense. You know, this is somebody who was in the forefront of Make-A-Wish, the forefront, the front poster boy of anti-bullying. It kind of sheds light of what was actually happening. I don't know yet. I want to listen here, but so far I've been hearing a lot of things, not a lot of positive things about John, Felix, Anthony, Cena.
I'm about to make myself look so bad.
I am Cangular Tones. Let's get into the intro.
I'm feeling cold, though my body's warm. Don't really know what is going on. I get these thoughts that I've never known. I get these thoughts when I'm all alone. Now I wake up.
Once again, make sure to subscribe just in case if you haven't, and let me know what you think about this video, guys. What do you think about John Cena? What do you think about the situation that's happening? Is it breaking your heart? Are you on the fence? Are you against what you're hearing? Just let me know in the comments, alright? Let's get into the video.
There's a question just came up that I wanted to discuss with both of you. Did you guys see this? That David Otunga saying John Cena was a major backstage bully to him. Okay, my experience with John, it was always good. But again, this is before he got that mega push and he was the top guy. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
As of late, I've been hearing also
What the hell?
accusations. I don't know if we'll hear it on this video of him actually telling people that they're gonna lose their jobs because they kind of messed up. You know, I think Wyndham got affected by that. His character was known as Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace. He was one of the people when he was in Nexus that actually got affected by this and he got sent down back to NXT. It was actually a good thing in the long term because we managed to see a reinvention of Bray Wyatt to a different extent. We kind of polished his character. But John Cena, this is the same guy who almost lost his job and actually got saved by Stephanie.
What the heck's going on here? I'm not even here in 1 minute.
This is something that you don't expect from someone like that. You expect that he had been humble. He also gives out the respect that he speaks about.
Just won't be coming out here preaching hustle, loyalty, and respect.
From what I've been hearing, it didn't really show much respect. You know, maybe it depended on the people, on who it was. It seemed like you crossed him just a tiny little bit. It was just gonna be an absolute disaster.
The whole thing was hysterical.
You were probably also gonna lose your job because he was apparently he was gonna go cry over to Vince McMahon.
Not only did I see it, I text David afterwards, and we text each other back and forth for a good 30 minutes after that. And you could tell, and you could see in his delivery of that this is something that's ate at him for years.
It takes time to get over a broken heart.
What if what he says has credence? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Wow, that's fair.
Right.
But he talked more about the Alex Riley, the Kevin Kiley incident.
Yeah.
He talked to, I mean, there's just a lot that, you know, it just doesn't sit well with him. So
I never met the guy, but he's an attorney by trade, right? He's a lawyer.
That ass and brains.
he's a very impressive, very intelligent. Yes.
And physically, I've seen the picture with him and John. He looked just as good as John physically, if not better. Right?
Oh yeah. And you could just tell there's animosity, there's bad blood. Now, could that bad blood be, you know, he got a bigger push than me? I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there.
Bullshit. I know, I'm just playing.
But texting back and forth, I'll give you the book report version of what we talked about.
Okay.
He's held in his truth for so many years, and now his truth, he's done with that. He's at that stage. He's at the Maven and Stevie stage of WWE where he's not looking for anything from them.
Right.
And now I don't know if he's on scorched earth mode, but he's done. He's not protecting their image anymore.
Wow.
And that's what I took from and full disclosure here, I like David a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And David has never been anything but super, super nice and just respectful of what we do. And so that's just full disclosure. But yeah, you could tell more's coming.
More's coming. Okay, so this is not the first we heard of people having issues with Cena since he got that top spot. You had Alex Riley freaking out, which again was never really told in full. I heard stories, but again, believe nothing what you hear. And you got this David Otunga coming out saying this. Then you had Ryback, who's never too shy to share his opinion on it. Right?
Well,
so, could it be
Renee, let me stop you real quick and I'll let you continue.
Yep.
The Alex Riley's real name is Kevin Kiley.
Okay.
In 2009, I had gyno surgery. I had my tits fixed. The guy did a good job, and I was living in Tampa, and I hooked Alex Riley up with my guy who gave a severe discount on what the price should be. He probably did it for half the cost. So to thank me, Kevin took me to dinner. And that's when he first told me about his issues with Cena. And to say that my mouth hit the floor, it would be an understatement.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah. Again, not my story to tell.
Right.
Not my story to tell. And again, I wasn't there.
So it's a waste of day.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's really heartbreaking, man. You don't expect somebody who promotes hustle, loyalty, respect to actually have been a bully. I mean, I know bullies, bro. I was bullied when I was in primary school. You know, you have to remember where you came from. I feel like John Cena actually forgot where he came from what I'm hearing, because you the same person who almost lost your job now. You know, from these accusations of things like, people are saying that, you threatened to make them lose their job. You know, it's not shedding a good light, especially on someone who's retired officially after performing at Saturday night's main event. It was the Last Time Is Now tournament.
Stevie, do you think this could be a situation of Cena's got the top spot and maybe paranoia kicks in, that you got younger guys or guys who look just as good of him, or just as smart, that Vince is getting a liking to, and he's kind of like jealous in a way to lose his spot, paranoid?
Yeah, this is a tale.
You see, that's the thing. You're allowed to be nervous, you know, scared that somebody's gonna take over your spot. You know, I get that. You're a human being. You're allowed to do that. I mean, who doesn't? Let's be realistic.
Have you stopped to consider that maybe, just maybe, you're jail?
But there's also common sense that comes into play that, they could be the future, you know, maybe I could teach them something.
Huh?
Teach them something.
Oh my gosh, that feels so much
better.
And maybe they could come out with something better, and they could be the future. You know, who knows? Maybe if things could have went differently, maybe David Otunga could have been the next star if things, you know, could have turned out the way they didn't. I feel like he could have went in a way that instead of like insulting people and telling, like, belittling them, like, your character, you can't take out a character like that out in public and fake to the people, to the kids, to all the ones that believed in you, man, that's not actually you. I don't know, man. I feel bamboozled, you know?
Old as wrestling time, as old as any push in any business, not just wrestling, but corporate America or anything else. I remember one time, and this probably got me buried, but I knew I was buried already. I asked Hunter straight to his face, why are you protecting a spot you have no chance of losing?
No, I don't feel like it was a problem for them to actually protect their spot. I feel like they had a right to protect their spot. Like, imagine you're at the top, you're a top star, you are selling merchandise, everybody's seeing you as the main person of that company, you know, you're the face. Of course you're gonna protect the spot. You're gonna want to stay there. Like, obviously, at some point they are gonna find different stars. There were hundreds of wrestlers in WWE. There is no way that they weren't gonna find somebody else who could have even been better than you. You know what I mean?
You said that to him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably got released because of that, but I don't care. It's just like, that's the thing. Where does the paranoia or whatever demon that comes out of people when they get a belt or they get it past a certain point, or they're Vince's pet project or whatever it might be. Now, Cena never showed me any of that because I was never a threat. I was never a threat, at least in his eyes perspective. I'm sure if Cena...
Yo, bro, but isn't that like low-key insulting that because he didn't actually give you any problems, you weren't a threat? Doesn't seem like he saw that you could have potentially stolen his spot. I feel like low-key, that's kind of insulting. That's deep.
I was around during the right to censor or something, or if I was doing something that kind of like went into his orbit,
yeah,
it probably would have been a little bit different, because there was one person there that was the top heel, and then there was me, who was considered to be one of the top heels, and that person was Triple H. And the writer for the right to censor every single week would say, Triple H is the one burying you in every production meeting. Triple H is saying you can't draw, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that's fine. That's cool, because
that's the thing, mind you. I just wanted to emphasize, I'm already familiar with the Triple H saga, with his backstage situations and everything. That's why I'm not really commenting on it, because like it's kind of familiar. What we're actually focusing on right now is the John Cena situation, because that's who we didn't actually expect to be that type of person. You know what I mean?
I want to go to a more positive note just for a minute.
Yep.
With David Otunga, I watched this stuff. And I'd love to talk to him or text him, or if there's any way you can relay these messages. I don't want to speak out of...
I will pass you his number right now, Stevie.
He has so much more potential than just talking about the legal aspects of pro wrestling. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Legal Eagle. And this guy just talks about everything in the world, from Trump to everything internationally, tariffs. But one of the fun things he does is he'll react to certain courtroom scenes and law movies or crime movies. And if it's military, like Top Gun, he brings in a JAG lawyer or a Navy lawyer, and they both he has so much potential, Maven. Guys, we all do outside of WWE. The same thing with Alex Riley. His commentary in NXT was exceptional. I didn't even know it was him. I was like, who's this new guy? This is way, way back, by the way, when he went from the main roster to NXT, and I thought, this guy has a second career. And I didn't know about Cena. I was like, why is he all of a sudden, when he was with the Nexus, I guess, or with Miz, with Miz, and all of a sudden he's in NXT just being a commentator. Kid looks great, but man, I was really, that guy has a future in speaking. It's just like the past of all this stuff, and I know part of our whole presentation with what we do is to discuss these nostalgia things, positive or negative, but I would love to move forward and just have the smart board and point out everything that's right and the things I love about the business.
Yeah.
But I've watched, Raven, You know, what went right has 10,000 views. What went wrong has 100,000 views. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
That's where James comes in, and I can put all the heat on him.
Yeah.
We
But
just
you
had.
know, I
A,
agree with that. We have so much potential. And
100%.
wrestling, we allow it to not reach what we're truly capable of reaching after we're done.
right.
Yeah.
Waiting for this. You know, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt.
We live in a fallen world where, unfortunately, people gravitate towards negativity way more than they do anything positive. Steve, I agree with you. I would love it if I could go out and just do content on how great everything is in the world of professional wrestling. But like you said, man, I personally notice how much money we don't make as opposed to when I do other content. And it's just like you gotta and it's, you know, and I'll take, you know, my lumps, and if you want to talk negative on me and Zach for going where the content is, okay, I'll admit to it. But you know, we're just following, like Stevie said, what the world wants. I wish we could talk only about butterflies and rainbows.
Well, what this channel wants is more Stephen and Maven, because we got over 500 in the chat and live viewers, which is a record for us. I know that's nothing compared to your numbers, but for us, that's very good. I want to thank you guys.
501 was for Maven, and then.
All right, I'll just take a second to actually appreciate them appreciating the 500 people that are there, man. You know, it's the little people, the ones that actually care, that are there, that matter, to be honest with you. This John Cena saga, I don't think it's gonna be, this is the end of it, to be honest with you. I think there's still a lot that's gonna come out. Maybe some people just don't have, they probably have NDAs on them right now. They probably can't really speak much right now, so it's kind of stopping them. Eventually, once that goes all the way, I feel like we might be speaking about this again soon. Once again, I'm very disappointed, man. Very disappointed in John Cena. I would have never thought 2025 is just one weird year, man. You never thought you'd hear someone like John Cena being a bully, bro. Someone who's the face of anti-bullying, a bully. How does that happen? This guy was an icon to kids, to a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Kanye the Tones. Please make sure to subscribe, click on that notification bell. Let me know what you thought about this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.
She awaited, going humble out the door on the floor. Revolution, I'm gonna execute ya. You know that I'm the future. Yeah, I'm the prince, the king, I'm everything. Give a salute. I don't mind being your tutor, and just to teach a few the things that made me. I'm with Obama and Mandela. Yeah, I'm a legend forever. I'll put you all under pressure. You all as light as a feather. I'm doing better than ever. Not feeling under the weather. I'm not a past, I'm the present. Yeah, I'm the future for